OMG. Hello. How are you guys doing? There's currently 3 of you. Hi. We're gonna chill today. It's gonna be fun. You scared me, dude. I thought it was a Discord call. Oh, that's really funny. I'm sorry. Hey, that would be complete. You know, sometimes I get really scared as well. I'm like, wait, did I leave? Did I disconnect from Discord call I was on earlier? Or like, am I muted? Like sometimes I just start like saying gibberish or just like singing or some shit like that, and I'm like, wait. I become really self-aware because I'm not sure if I'm still in Discord call or not. Hi Shirno. How are you doing? We haven't talked in like forever. Oh my god, I just got an email from the school I'm gonna tend to, or I guess no, I didn't. I'm supposed to have an email. I got a message. Maybe it's in the spam folder. Where do I even check the spam folder in Gmail? A lemon. I have no idea. Oh my god. Spam. Where's the spam folder? Maybe if I just write the name of the school. No. No, I don't have an email. View messages. Huh. Maybe I still didn't get it. Yes, that's true. I'm doing actually pretty well at the moment. Thank you. What about you? How was your week? This is Friday Talks after all. That's true. Yeah, so I'm doing good. Today I'm doing good. And yesterday I was also doing pretty good. Thankfully, things got better because from Saturday through Wednesday, I was constantly feeling like absolute shit. Mostly because for some reason, like Saturday, I had I was feeling super dizzy, like dizzy and nauseous. I was like, my vision would go fuzzy. I would lose my balance, like at work. I had to go sit in the back to see if I would get better, because that's usually what I do when that happens. But this time it was so bad that I was sitting there for like almost close to 3 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes, around that, and I still wasn't improving like in the slightest. And so I went home earlier. I came home earlier that day and just went to sleep. I don't know how you call it, but like I measured like my tension or like my arterial pressure. I don't fucking know how you call it, but I did that thing and I was at a 4 minimum, which apparently is really, really low. And I use that device that like squeezes your arm for a while. And so I just my parents gave me like a coffee, because that apparently rises that thing up. And then I went to bed. I slept until 4 p.m. And then when I woke up, I was like feeling all right again. Or at least I was feeling like a ton better than before. Because I would still like, since then I was just like, you know, sitting, I was mostly fine. But any like faster movements or something, like I would still feel like kind of like tipsy and everything. So there's that. And on Sunday through Wednesday, it wasn't nearly as bad, but I was still feeling pretty dizzy at work. Like I had to also sit down a couple of times, just waiting it out to like see if it would improve, and I guess it kind of did. I didn't have to come home earlier those days, but yeah, it was kind of sucky because, you know, especially when at my work we have to like get up, like you have to crouch and get back up a lot. You have to crouch and stand up a lot. And so, like, that really messes with me. So that was the thing. But, yeah, Thursday, so yesterday, I was feeling pretty good the entire day. Like, yesterday was actually a pretty cool day, thankfully. And I didn't have any issues, and which means I was very productive at work, and it was nice. And I got home, it was good and stuff, and yeah. Hey Angela! Oh my god, I haven't seen you in so long, Angela. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We're chilling today. We're just talking today. Sure, no, yes, that's true. Well, I've already read that. Yeah, glad you've been feeling better. Then sounds like an irritating issue for sure. I hear you. Yeah, I'm glad I've been feeling better. It was pretty annoying to just cause I constantly worried that like it might be something in my head, you know. I keep saying that I'm going to make a video about it, and I still haven't done that. And I guess I could have done that for today's Fire Talks actually, but whatever. I didn't think of it. But I had a surgery in 2019, at the end of 2019, where I had a brain tumor removed that was causing me seizures. And so, you know, there were a couple of months of recovery, but I still... It was only in October last year that I stopped taking the meds, but I was supposed to have an appointment that month, which didn't happen because they didn't call me, and I guess COVID is a thing, and so the hospitals are very full right now, and so like they have to worry about other things, I guess. I don't know. I tried calling them, they didn't answer. It's been kind of... I'm just thinking of going to like a private hospital or something. I don't know, using my health insurance, but I kind of worry that like this might be something related to that still. I'm unsure. It could be something completely different. But yeah, I don't know. That's something that kind of like worries me, or has been worrying me throughout this week, is like what might be causing this. Is it something like completely different from that entire episode, or is it like related to that? I don't know. It's really not worth worrying or being concerned about it. There's much because I can do anything about it for now. But yeah, I definitely want to get it checked, because it's not the first time this happens. Like throughout the months, I get like headaches and dizzy every so often. Like I would say on average like twice a month. So yeah, it's not normal, I don't think. Nervously, you look sad. Do I? I don't know. I guess I'm just like serious, with the real serious, because of talking about the feeling drowsy. But I don't know. I feel I feel good right now. It was just a tough week in that regard, and kind of concerning, I guess. Mostly that's been it. Hope you're feeling better. Yes, I am feeling better. Yesterday was pretty good, and today has been pretty good. I've just been like relaxing. I guess I've also been like, you look like you cried. Really? No, I didn't cry. Oh no, it's probably the camera. It's making my face look red. I know. I noticed that happens sometimes when I'm looking at when I'm like editing, and I'm like, whoa, my face, why does it look so red? And then I go color correction, and I take off the reds a little bit. But no, don't worry. I appreciate the concern. I just figured out that only one of my teachers assigned homework. Oh, hell yeah. The least homework you have, the best. Because homework sucks. Man, I really hope it's unrelated, Nerve. I'm rooting for you. I can 100% understand the worry. I feel it there. I hope so too. Thank you for the support. I don't know. I don't know what it might be. We'll see. What kind of seizures were you having? So essentially what it was doing is it was causing seizures on my left side, on my left leg, for the most part. So everything started in 2019 in October, when I was at my lunch break, and all of a sudden, my left leg, Mates! Hi! May Fury! Oh my god, Owen. Owen, everyone say hi to Owen. Is a really good friend of mine. He plays VR chat a lot with me. I met him in VR chat. He's like the coolest dude ever. Man, oh my god, hello. I'm gonna hug you. Hope your Friday is going okay. It is going okay. I've been just like relaxing and playing. Like I've been playing Final Fantasy, and then I played Carnage Chronicles in VR a little bit, and that's really what I've been doing today. I hope your Friday is going okay as well. I hope to see you tonight. I'm gonna be recording things in VR chat with Vori. Not for YouTube, by the way. It's just like some videos a friend of mine does, like some movie-like things. But yeah, and then it's karaoke night. I hope to see you there because I'm gonna sing. I'm off tomorrow, so I can stay up late. Yay! Chris Pratt playing the Jurassic World. Hell yeah, Chris Pratt is so cool. I love him. He's one of my favorite actors. Disbalance, hello. Welcome to your stream. And Hawk, I have a good one. Thanks so much for joining. We'll still be here for like another maybe 50 minutes or an hour or something, an hour 30 minutes. I don't know how long I'll be going for. So if you can get in the meanwhile, absolutely do. Feel free to. As I was saying, so yeah, in October 2019, I was in my lunch break, and all of a sudden my left leg just starts like doing like this kicks, like it kept kicking like the air on its own, and I can't control it. And each time it's stronger and higher up, and it was just like I was getting really scared. And I was like screaming for my coworkers, and I was like, "Help me!" And then like they just come running from the office. And then my leg just like does one last kick and it falls on the ground, or well, it doesn't fall, but like just kind of falls, drops dead, I guess. And I cannot move it whatsoever for the next like minute or so. And it was super scary. And at first I thought I had like a hernia or something that was like something in my vertebrae, I don't know how you say it, that was messing with my leg. That's what some people suggested. But throughout the days, this happened a couple more times. And it was really fucking weird. Like I had never had that happen before. I mean, obviously, and it really hurt because like my muscle would just all tense up, and as the legs started kicking, and it just hurt a ton. Oh god! But at one point, we were. This maybe lasted like 2 weeks. This was probably like during 2 weeks, like this would happen every so often. And so at one point, one day we were in a meeting at work. So the entire, like my boss was there and a couple of coworkers, and it started doing it again. They had most of the people that were there haven't seen it happen yet, but they did then, and it was horrible. That was the worst. That was what triggered me to go to the hospital because essentially I started having the little kicks of my leg thing, doing the thing. But then it went over to the rest of my body, right? And so I get up from the chair, or well, I think they grab me off the chair and they make me stand up. I have like 3 people grabbing me because like at this point I'm like my entire body is shaking, like I'm having a full-on seizure, a full body seizure, and so I remember everything. I remember the entire episode. I know they were starting to like they got water, which by the way, never do that. They gave me water to drink, but like you should never do that to someone who's having a seizure. I'm so glad nothing happened. Though I think I only drank it after I was fine. I think that was the thing. They called like the security guards from the mall to like bring stuff to. I think they were also gonna like measure my tension or arterial pressure or whatever you call it, and so like I was there, like 3 people were grabbing me. I was like shaking everywhere, and it was awful because I couldn't breathe. Right, at this point I couldn't breathe. I remember like trying to talk. I was saying, "Holy shit." Holy shit, this is the worst one I've had yet, the strongest one. And I know my words were like coming out, but like super stuttering, like, but like, like something like that. I remember my vision starting to kind of like go black. I remember looking at the ground and thinking to myself, dude, I'm gonna pass out because I can't breathe. I'm like as if my chest was locked or something. I couldn't breathe whatsoever, and my vision was starting to fade away into black. But then all of a sudden, it just stops. It just stops. From like 1 second later, it just stops completely, and I go like like gasping for air, like super, my like I don't even know. It was crazy. It was insane. And so I was. They kept on grabbing me. So because like my leg was. I couldn't stand up on my own essentially. Like they had to hold me. And so I was just gasping for air. And I remember they just sat me down on a chair. They measured my thingy on my arm. And then that's probably when they gave me water. So, Shirley, the reason why you shouldn't give somebody having a seizure water is because when you're having a seizure, if I remember the explanation they gave me right, is like the canal that would take things to the stomach is not open, so it can take things to the lungs instead, which means you could essentially either drown the person, or it could also cause a cardiac arrest, some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like the heart can stop. I remember one of the doctors or whatever at the hospital telling this to my mom when she was visiting. Except for that, it sounds really scary. I'm really glad you've been okay. Yeah, that was super scary. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like this was a full-on seizure. And then my boss was like, dude, you have to go to the hospital. Like, that's a neurological problem. It can only be, like, the explanation. And so they called, they didn't call the ambulance. I called my dad. It took me to an hospital. And I was waiting for, like, 3 or 4 hours or something. I don't know. It was a long wait. It was a grand mal seizure, I think is what a full body seizure is called. Grand mal seizure. Okay, I'd never heard of that. It's quite possible. That's interesting. So it could basically kill a person, huh? Seems like that should be more common knowledge. Thanks for explaining. I guess it could, yeah. I mean, from the sounds of it, it could definitely be dangerous to that degree. So they took me to the hospital. I waited for a couple of hours. They did me a CAT scan, a CAT scan. I don't know how you call it in English. We call it a TAC. But I think it's a CAT scan. And they noticed there was something in my brain. And so they called me to an office afterwards. And they go, they just tell me that I have a brain hemorrhage. And I'm like, what? I don't know. It's like, have you ever felt like you are suddenly living in a dream or a nightmare or something, and you're just like, you want to wake up or something, like do you just think like this cannot be real, like this is not a thing that's happening, right? Like I have to be dreaming, but then you realize right away that no, this is reality. It's an actual thing. Like this is happening to you. And that was me. That was me just then. Like what they told me, I had a brain hemorrhage, and I was just shook. Like I was, fuck. Like I couldn't believe it, but it was a thing that was happening. And so they put me on a, I don't know how you call it in English, but you know those beds where they put patients to bring them to the ambulance. They lay me down on one of those things. They gave me like, they put a tube in my wrist, in my veins, so they could give me some medication for the seizures, just to prevent them from happening. And I went to the ambulance. I went over to another hospital, which is where I stayed hospitalized for like a couple of weeks. And yeah, that was like the intro, I guess. And then at the hospital, I had to be like connected to these machines. Like they had to constantly be like examining me, like or they had to have me under observation, I guess. And I was connected to like a heart beating thing machine, a heart rate machine or whatever. I had like a thing on my finger to measure the oxygen. I think it was for, and yeah, I think that was mostly it. Yeah, I think that was mostly it. So yeah, and I still had the tube thingy, and they were like giving me like meds through the tube. And yeah, so I stayed in the hospital for a couple of weeks. I went there on Sunday, and I had to wait until Monday to make a magnetic resonance an MRI. That's what it's called. And because they had to like check more in detail what it was, what the hemorrhage was like, which part of the brain it was really affecting, and everything. And so they could tell like if I would need surgery or not. So for like the next week or so, I was just hospitalized. I was just like being observed. I was just like waiting to know if I was going to need surgery or not. And so that was the thing. I went after a couple of days. I went over to the infirmary, which was like I didn't have to be connected to machines anymore. I was just like laying down. And because I was laying down for so long without leaving the bed, I lost my ability to walk for a while. So like every day I would have like this nurse like grab me by the arm and like take me through the hallways, so I could like slowly get my leg movement back. And fast forward, I'm trying to spare details because otherwise I'll be here the entire day, night, whatever. But fast forward comes a day where the surgeon, the neurosurgeon, comes over to my room. She tells me that I am indeed going to need surgery. So I make her some questions. So here's the thing, right? You know, sometimes when you like start overthinking, like, oh, what if this thing in particular ever happens to me? How will I react? I'll probably be like shit scared or something like that. Like you said, like hypothesizing like situations that would likely never happen. So whenever that happened to me, like if like sometimes I would think like, oh, what if I ever need to like surgery to my brain? Holy shit, I will like that's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna be super scared. I don't want to do it and stuff like that. But turns out that I was actually pretty okay with it. Like, and I'm pretty sure that this comes from like, first of all, like the how everyone in the hospital was taking care of me so well, and they were very supportive, and they were like the way they were explaining things, like it could tell that it was not a hard process. But also all the support I had from friends, coworkers, family. Like I thankfully could use my phone, so I was always in contact with my friends and everything, and they were constantly checking up on me. They were constantly like talking to me. Like my friends from VR chat, they made this thing. We have like a Discord server. They made this thing where they made a channel just to like check up on me, just for like watching stuff with me and everything on Discord, to the screen shares and stuff like that. And you know, there was just I had so much support from everyone around me. It was crazy helpful. And so that when she told me that I would need surgery, I asked her a couple of questions. She told me there was a chance I would get my left leg paralyzed if the surgery didn't go 100% well. But she said it was like 100%. No, not 100%, Jesus Christ. A 1% chance of that happening. And she's done this kind of surgery so many times. And she's one of the best surgeons in Portugal, apparently. And she had never had that happen before. So I was like, you know, kind of like just a little bit concerned, as you normally would. But for the most part, I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think 1 or 2 days later, they sent me back home. I have I can sort of walk-ish a little bit on my own, but I still need to grab onto stuff and everything. No pressure at all, yeah. And so I go back home until they call me again for the surgery. So I was home for like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe. 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. 12 days or 2 weeks or something like that. And so, for that time, I was like, I was staying mostly in my room, on my bed. They told me I could use my computer in like, you know, you couldn't just be there the entire day, but because I had like headaches and everything, but I could use it every so often for a short amount of time, which I was very glad about because there was a very important part that's coming that's related to that. But I was mostly in my room. Like whenever I had to go downstairs to the kitchen or something, I would have to call my parents to come and get me and like walk me down the stairs and everything. But for the most part, I was in my room. A lot of times I even ate in my room and everything. And so during this time, during this week or two, was when I had the most support ever and the most like special moments regarding this entire thing, because like I had my friends on VR chat like constantly like watching movies with me on Discord. I had like people always talking to me, always like sending me messages. And in VR chat specifically, the day right before I had to go to the hospital for the surgery was so very special, because I went on VR chat that night to meet up with my friends, and we were in this really beautiful world with beautiful music, very emotional music. Hey Lisa, welcome to the stream. And so we were in this really relaxing world and everything, with a tree, and it was really nice. And everyone got on at like at this time where no one usually goes on VR chat, and everyone got on to come and see me, and to like see me off, because I would be going to the hospital the next day for the surgery. And so it was just so meaningful to me, like being surrounded by my really good friends in VR chat, and having them like hearing their words of support, and just like just them being there for me, you know. It was amazing. Like I'll never forget that day, honestly. I was so very grateful for them, and for everything they were doing, because it really helped. Like all the support, man. I don't think I would have gone through that surgery nearly as easily as I did if it hadn't been for all the support I'd gotten from my friends. So yeah, that was something incredible. So the next day I go over to the hospital. I sleep there because it's Sunday and surgery is on Monday. So comes Monday, I am on those beds again. They like taking me to the surgery room, and I was kind of nervous. I was nearly as nervous as I thought I would be. I was actually pretty relaxed. Just a little bit nervous. I mean, but that's normal, right? But because one of the things that was also like that also really put me at ease is because like when people touch your brain, you can't feel it. Oh, I haven't said this yet. Okay, so the surgery, I would obviously be asleep while they opened my head, but while my brain was exposed, I would have to be awake for an exercise they needed me to do, so they could like kind of know where they could touch. So this can sound frightening, right? I mean, you're awake and your head is open, your brain is exposed. I mean, what the fuck? But the fact that, you know, when people touch your brain, like you can feel it because the brain doesn't have any nerves. So you literally can feel a single thing. And that really put me a lot more at ease, and a lot less nervous. Yeah, so give me a second because my dad is calling me. Give me just a quick. Tô. Ok, eu estou a streamar, mas já vou, assim que terminar. Mais quanto tempo? É para aquecer só para depois? 30 minutos, uma hora. Yeah. E... Não. Vá, até logo, mano. Beijinhos. Até logo. Alright. They were calling me for dinner. Oh, no, I don't care about Google Assistant. Right, so... what was I saying? Right, brain. People touching your brain. What the fucking deal? I'm both grossed out and impressed. Yeah, it's really fucking creepy, honestly. But yeah, so I went inside the surgery room, and I laid down on the surgery table thingy-majigs. And I have to I have to put my head on this thing, right? And then they grab a pencil and the ruler, and they start drawing lines and taking measurements on my head, and like drawing like with a pencil on my head so they can know like where to open, where to cut and stuff. And it was like, I was like, okay. And see, I wasn't that nervous. I was like, that's kind of interesting. It was slightly scared, but at the same time, like, okay, I'm going to be sleeping, so it should be fine. But you know, people were also really like, they really made you comfortable. You know, they make sure you were super comfortable. They were asking me questions, and they were just like, you know, telling me things that letting me know they would be fine and stuff like that. So I was kind of relaxed at the same time. The only thing that hurt was when they fucking that hurt. Jesus Christ. They had to like put the anesthesia on through my wrist, and that shit fucking hurt. Like that seriously hurt so much. And there was a lot of blood on my wrist. Like it wasn't supposed to like bleed that much. But I remember the person was like, okay, don't look over because there's a lot of blood. But don't worry, it's fine. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's okay. I don't mind. So yeah, it was just, they were just putting the anesthesia. And then I'm like looking at the side. And like all of a sudden, I'm looking at the side because like there's a monitor with the scans of my brain. And I was like kind of trying to make out what was what. And all of a sudden, I just feel like as if my lungs were filled with smoke or something, and I cough, and I start feeling like super drowsy. This is like a matter of seconds, right? Like it happens so fast, but I get drowsy, and next thing I remember, I'm just sleeping. Like I just completely sleep, right? And it was crazy. It was so crazy because you just feel your lungs like this. It's just your cough and just drowsy, and bam, you're asleep. So the next thing I remember is waking up for that one exercise that I told you that I was going to be doing. They told me beforehand, and we practiced it as well. I essentially would have to like do this with my arm and do the same thing with my leg. So I'd have to like move my leg like this as well as my arm. As I said, like as I counted 10 through 1. And so really funny thing is when I woke up, because you're like kind of like drowsy and stuff, you're slightly high, I guess. I remember that, and they told me to. I started talking English to the nurses and the doctors and and they were like, "No, you have to talk Portuguese and everything." It was really funny. But what they initially told me that this exercise could take like 30 minutes to like an hour. Apparently, it took me 5 minutes because I said I did it really well, and I collaborated really well. Because I was just like, you know, you literally just had to do this with your leg and arm and count from 10 to 1. And so the reason they had to do this is the time where they're touching my brain while I'm awake, right? They had to like, stimulate my brain with electrical shocks in different sections of the brain so they could know which part controlled my leg. And so then they could find out which parts they couldn't touch, so that I wouldn't get my leg paralyzed. And so, again, like I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't feel them touching my brain. I couldn't feel the electrical shocks or anything. I felt zero. The only thing I felt was whenever they were stimulating the part that controlled my leg, I couldn't really move my leg. Like it would get hard to move my leg until I couldn't move it anymore, and then she would let go, and I could move it again. That's all. That's literally all. I felt zero pain, zero anything. Like I couldn't feel anything essentially. It was crazy. Because I had heard before that like if people touch your brain, you can feel it. And it's true. Like you cannot feel it. You cannot feel it. Zero. You cannot feel it. And yeah, so because that part was super fast, and then I don't even remember falling asleep again. I just remember waking up fully conscious. Bandages all around my head, and my mom next to me, and that was it. So then after that, I just take like another 2 weeks or so hospitalized. I had like a tube that I still had a hole in my head with a tube that was sucking blood from my brain. I guess like excess blood or something from the surgery into a bag. And so a week later, so they removed that. And this part is painful because they had to like sew my head, that hole closed, and it was like, it hurts. But it was super quick. It was like it was a couple of seconds. I will read chat in just a little bit. But yeah, that was the thing. So I was hospitalized for for 1 or 2 more weeks. They had to shut close the hole. Oh, at this point, I had like 32 staples in my head, um, keeping the scar closed, I guess, so it would like glue together. And yeah, I guess that was really it. After those 2 weeks, I went back home. I needed some more physiotherapy, I think is what you call it, so I could start like walking again. Because again, like if you're in bed for that long, especially with this kind of problem, like you're gonna have trouble walking afterwards. But then after I got back home, I I had 2 months that were terrible. For 2 months, I was just like resting in my bed. That was all I did. I was just resting in my bed. Sometimes if I felt a little bit better, I would go on the computer. But essentially, for those 2 months, I had constant migraines. Constant migraines. No pills I took would make them go away. Crazy stuff. I was on five. I was on 1, 2, 3, 4. I was on 4 different meds. 2 for the seizures, 1 to reduce the swellness of the brain, the swollenness of the brain, whatever. And the other was for like for pain. And my headaches just wouldn't go away. I just remember like being in bed all the time. Sometimes I would grab my phone, go on Discord with a couple of friends, just to hear them talk and talk to someone while I was like in bed. And sometimes when the headache would kind of like fade away for a little bit, I would go on a computer. At the time I played League of Legends, so I would play League of Legends for like 1 or 2 games. But then I would have to go back to bed again because my head would start hurting as well. Yeah, it was just, for 2 months, this was all I did. Until finally, I started feeling better. Headaches went away. At this point, it's January or February. I'm almost ready to go back to work. My movement on my left leg and my left arm aren't optimal, obviously, because they were messing around with my brain with the side that controlled the left side. And so I had to like slowly recover all my movement. And so I remember specifically one time when I was like when I had no headaches anymore and I was starting to like feel better finally, I went over to play Beat Saber again. At the time I played a lot of Beat Saber before the surgery was a thing, so I hadn't played Beat Saber at this point for like 4 months or 5 months or something. And so I'm playing Beat Saber. I am playing this really hard song. Beat Saber, for those of you who don't know, it's a VR game. You have cubes and lightsabers. You have to cut the cubes to the sound of the music. And I can't do a rotation or like circle movements with this hand. My hand just kind of starts doing this instead, and I'm like constantly losing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Really funny thing though is that when I went over to see my surgeon, I told her this, and she told me, keep playing that game because that's actually great physiotherapy for your arm, for you to recover your arm movement. And sure enough, after I kept on playing, and eventually I was fully back. Like this arm was fully back. My movement is back. Like my walking is back, running is back, jumping is back, everything. The only thing I still can't do to this day, and it's a really silly thing, but like, my toes on my left hand, on my left foot, while on my right foot I can do this super quick, on my left foot I can't. Like I can only do this. That's the only thing that hasn't recovered, but it's not important in the slightest. It's just a small detail. But yeah, so come February, I'm finally able to go back to work again. Things are starting to get better, and I take it very easily. I need to check. I need to go see the doctor, the surgeon, a couple of times. I need to do like this cognitive tests as well at the hospital, just to make sure that nothing has changed in my brain when it comes to like counting or memory wise or recognizing patterns and whatnot. And so throughout the next months, I'm just like taking meds constantly every day until October when I stopped. And yeah, the rest is history. So that was a wild adventure. I think that was the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. But one thing that also kind of gave me different perspective at life, I guess. It's like those things that like, it's not that my life was in danger or anything, but it just makes you look at things a different way. Like, whoa, like I went through this thing. And the fact that I went through this thing makes so many other things seem like they're nothing. You know, like just so many other problems you might have that just seem so much smaller after you go through something like this. And yeah, that was it. I guess let me read the chat now because you guys have been saying things. Nerfly is a warrior. I guess like that was some crazy stuff to go through. I'm glad you pulled through and had support. Angela, thank you. Yeah, I again, like if it wasn't for my friends, all support I got, like I don't think this would have been a nice experience at all. Not that it was a nice experience, but it's not an experience I regret, you know, like it's not something that I'm sad happened. It was actually kind of interesting to go through this entire thing and like see what that's like, I guess. Because then that also, again, like it kind of changed my perspective of things, and I guess that was a plus. But like seriously, it was so just to support everyone was crazy, and it wouldn't have been nearly as easy to go through it as it was if it wasn't for my friends and family and coworkers and everything. So I'm super grateful to everyone. Lisa, I was terrified for my surgery and cried the whole way to the OR, but I couldn't imagine being awake during it. Oh man, yeah, I'm so sorry to hear. I'm sorry I had to go through surgery as well. What kind of surgery was it, if you don't mind me asking? So that's totally normal though. Like, it's such a crazy thing. It's very scary. Like, especially considering surgeries are usually a thing that usually go like, oh, it's only a thing that happens to others, but then it happens to you, and it's like, Jesus Christ, it's real. Ashurna is going to bed, so let me just read her things real quick. I'm really glad the surgery went so well for you. Me too. It was 4 hours long, by the way. It sounds wild. It's cool you get a new perspective as a result. That's never a bad thing. For sure, yeah, that was that was a good thing to come out of it. Going back to now, Nerve. See you later. Have fun streaming more, some more. Thank you for hanging here, Nui. You have a great night and sleep well yourself. So yeah, like I don't blame you whatsoever, Lisa, for like crying the whole way through to the operation room, and yeah, it's because it's crazy stuff. Like, this is legitimately terrifying to go through something like this. I don't know if breaking my head 5 times for my life is... Oh shit, I'm so sorry, Glitch Raptor. Oh, that's terrible. I broke my head when I was 6 years old, and they had to sue my head. I took like 3, I don't know how you call it, but it was super painful. I remember like being on the bed, like they couldn't give me anesthesia because of the way the place it was. So I remember just crying and screaming in absolute pain. My mom was just outside; she could hear me cry from inside the room, and she was crying. She told me she was crying because of how much I was screaming. So yeah, like 5 times. Jesus Christ, man, that's a lot. This live chat has taken an interesting turn. It does, yeah, it did. It really did. But I'm kind of glad, because like I've been meaning to talk about this for so long, but then I always find other topics to talk about in Friday Talks, and then I never actually talk about it. So it's kind of cool that I finally get to do it. Only 32. When I broke my head, I got almost 100. Ouch. 100. Yeah, mine was in stitches. It was staples as well, but just 32. I mean, in comparison, that's nothing. And I thought 32 was a lot. Jesus Christ, man. I'm so sorry to hear that. Did you ever have any seizure auras? Like you'd get a migraine before a seizure or feel a deja vu? No, I never did. I never got it. I never got those. So the reason why I never even said what a tumor actually was. It's called a cavernoma. And it was basically like veins that were like intertwined or interlaced or whatever. And so one of them popped, and the blood from that vein that was on the surface of the brain irritated the brain. And that's what caused the seizures. So I think that might have been why I never got any auras. Probably because it wasn't an actual condition in my brain, just something else that was causing it. and that was removed. Since that was entirely removed, and they told me that it's not something that grows again, I've never had any other episodes afterwards. One of the worst things about recovery is being completely isolated from people. That hits really hard. Oh yeah, for sure. And it was like, it was a long time. Like it was like, you know, it was two months that I was with the headaches, and so I was like just in bed. So yeah, that was absolutely. And that's why I like being on Discord calls, and you know, having my friends like watch movies with me, and then trying to go on play a league now and then when I could was the thing I tried doing, because I just didn't want to be in bed all the time. That was super boring. Games are amazing, they are. And it's so cool that VR actually had like this healing properties, so to speak, to what I had in my arm. It's also healthy to talk about it as well. It just helps. Absolutely, for sure, absolutely. Someone tripped me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, that person is very mean, and I hope they had what they deserved. I don't know. Oh man, I hope you're good now. You should be, right? I had high-risk precancerous lesions on my cervix. They told me if I didn't have them removed, it would turn into cervical cancer and probably be very aggressive. It hasn't come back, but it may. Jesus Christ, man. I'm so sorry, Lisa, to hear that. But I'm very glad that it turned out to be okay, that they were able to remove it, and that you're good now. I hope it doesn't come back. Because that's not good. That's not cool stuff. But I'm glad you're okay now. That's really cool. That's really good. I'm super happy to hear that. I got my revenge, let me tell you. It was all worth it. Oh my god. Well, yeah, you shouldn't treat people. I mean, come on. Especially if that causes things like that. It's pretty bad. I do hope we all have a good rest of our year, though. Yeah. Yeah, this was in 2019 and 2020. So we started in 2019 October. Surgery was in November. I recovered entirely in February. The rest of 2020 was, you know, COVID. And now in 2021, which is so far, it's been so bad. I mean, there was the entire thing with, I'm not going to go into politics, by the way. But it was an entire thing with the Capitol and everything. It was like crazy. But now that that's settled and over, I guess so far it's been good now, and hopefully the rest of 2021 will be nice. It'll be good, and there won't be like any crazy stuff. You know, vaccines are starting to show up, and hopefully we won't have to worry about COVID for another 2 years or something. If it all ends this year, I'll be very happy. Just got to enjoy the small things, though. For sure, yeah, absolutely. That's the spirit. That's really the way I think as well. It's like, you really have to, like, no matter what bad things may happen throughout our days or our lives or weeks or whatever, like, there are always small things, you know, make us smile, make us laugh. There's just, like, so many things that sometimes we don't even see and are very easily overlooked, and sometimes it's just subconsciously, you know. But that are so worth just remembering and appreciate, you know. And those are the things that a lot of times can really keep you going. Too early to judge. Yeah, for sure. February just began. We're still 2 months into it. So hopefully... Well, I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully things will be better than last year. I'm looking forward to this year, honestly. Like, I'm supposed to start a video editing course next week, and I'm really looking forward to it, because like I want to like deepen my skills and everything. Although because of lockdown, we're currently in lockdown, I'm unsure if that's still gonna happen. Well, it will eventually happen, but it might postpone it, the starting date. But I'm really looking forward to it, because I'm gonna meet new people. I'm probably gonna like learn more things to improve my videos, and that's also gonna help me get a video editing job, obviously. I mean, hopefully, because right now one of the things that I've been trying to get into is like becoming a video editor for, you know, other content creators and everything. Because I really want to start just working in this industry, so I can eventually leave my current job. I don't know when that's gonna happen, It might be this year, it might be next year. I don't know, but that's my goal, is to just like be able to work as a video editor, and you know, make a living out of that. I do hope we all I do enjoy the background lights you have going on. Did you change them or add any while I was gone? So the lights, these lights, I added them for Thinkmas. These were the same lights that were there in the background, I guess. And when I removed all the decorations, like the Christmas tree and all the Christmassy things, I decided to leave these up, because for the longest time I've always wanted to have these lights. These yellow lights just hanging on a curtain or something, because it gives like a really nice cozy vibe, I guess, to the background. I really like it, and so I decided to keep it that way. The flamingo's still there, the lightning is still there, even though it's not on, because I still haven't bothered to actually change the batteries on it. And the new things we have for the background. Let me turn on this light so you can see it better. Is the little fan art that Chris made us during Thinkmas, and the blue ball from also Thinkmas. Yeah, for sure. You can try to mix or add lights to the background as time goes on. I want to add more stuff, because like this side over here is still very dark, so I want to like eventually just have a nicer background in general. Because while I like it, I still think it's a little bit messy, so to speak. I don't know. I feel like it could be better. But you know, I'm gonna be moving soon anyway, like in a couple of months. So I think I'll really focus on the background then. Like right now I'm still gonna like be working on this one, but I'm not gonna put like my all into it or anything. Because then when I move, I'm gonna have like an entire attic for myself. That's gonna be my room and studio. And so then I'm gonna like really go all out, and it's gonna try to make something super cool. Some black lights would be cool. Oh, what were black lights? Oh, the black lights are like UV lights. I remember now. Actually, yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Because I want to have some sort of like spotlight that I can have like maybe behind and just like shining around me as if it was like an aura of sorts, but on the wall behind me or something. I think that would be pretty cool. Anyway, UV lights are purple, and you know, our color scheme is very purplish, so that could definitely be a good idea to use one of those. Woo! This has been fun. It's so nice to talk to you guys. It's really relaxing, and I'm enjoying like this jazz music in the background. Cause I really like because when I like watch like Jack's live streams or Ethan's and everything, like they always have this jazzy music, and it's just it creates such a nice environment. And it's just like just no way that I couldn't have like this sort of jazz music in the background as well, because it's just like it's really fitting, you know, for it's really fitting for live streams where you just talk to people, or just lights where you can change the color to whatever you want and just bathe the background in blue or whatever. Yeah. You know, there's some spotlights you can get on Amazon that are RGB, and I kind of want to get some of those eventually, because yeah, then you can do the aura thing that I was saying, and I can just change the color. I do currently have like you can kind of see purple. I have like in the ceiling, and I always keep it purple. Oh my god, it's not changing. There you go. It's purple. If I don't know if I can see it. There you go. Yeah, there's the lights. But it's all I have. But like they're not very powerful, and because they're all connected, this is like I don't even know. It's like what 3, 6, 9. That's like 15 meters of RGB lights. They're all connected to the same power source. So like over there in that corner and behind me, it gets a little weaker than right here, which is where it's connected to the power. So when I move, I want to have like I want to have like a system where everything can be at the same intensity of light, and it just be like better setup, because this is very janky right now. I had so many trouble putting these up because like it kept like ungluing from the wall and falling and stuff. So I have like double face tape keeping the lights up there. It's so stupid. My favorite jazz instrumental is Night on the Dock Sex by Kevin MacLeod. You should look it up. Highly recommended. Oh, I definitely will. I'm not going to do it right now on the stream because otherwise I'll get copyright claims. Not that this is monetized because it isn't, but still, I'd rather not get copyright claims. But I'm going to put it here because I'm definitely going to listen to that. I like finding new music. I really dig that. And like sometimes I'm just like, bro, like I've already listened to sometimes it gets to a point where like I don't have new things to listen to and I'm like looking for music. And usually I always listen to mixes. So it's gotten to a point where I'm listening to mixes and I keep recognizing every song because I've already listened to so many of them. So it's always nice to like just be able to hear new things as a refresher. It's super cozy, like zooming with your friends. Yeah, it really is. I just like the vibes. Oh, and I just realized the music stopped. I'm gonna put it again. There you go. Yeah, it's super relaxing. I really dig it. I got the email finally from the school I'm gonna attend to. Yeah, they're postponing the course. Does it say when? Ba-da-ba, 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 ba-da-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't actually say when it's being postponed to, just that it's being postponed. So, fun fact, the person who sent me this email, he used to work with me at the store I currently work at. So it's really fun to see his name there. When he signed the email, it's his name there. So yeah, it sucks. It kind of sucks because I was really looking forward to it. I don't know how long I'm gonna have to wait until I can take the course now. But hey, it's better than taking online classes because considering it's a video editing course, taking online classes, this would be pretty janky and not fun at all. I want to be sure because I want to make sure that I'm like. The reason I'm taking this, another reason I'm taking this course is because it's gonna be like presential. Oh. It's gonna be like, you know, at the presence of other people and an actual teacher, I guess. So it's so much better because first of all, you focus a lot more and you get more into it because you're in a place dedicated for it and you're surrounded by people doing the same thing, and it's so much easier to like ask questions and, you know, clear your doubts and get help. Because a lot of times you're like, I want to do something, and then I'm looking on Google or YouTube, and I can't find exactly what I want, and then if I ask on forums, most of the time you're gonna get an answer. It's just like, bro. So it's gonna be a lot better to be in an actual place, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's non-copyright and royalty-free music you can play. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, sweet. I hope everything works out for you in your future. Thank you, Angela. I really appreciate that. You know what? Let's listen. Let's listen to it then. Kevin MacLeod, Night on the Docks. There we go. It might be a little bit too low in volume. Ooh. Oh, this is nice. I like it. Hell yeah, I like this. Good stuff. It's very soothing. Hey, hell yeah. Thanks for sharing, Angela. I really like it. I'm gonna keep listening to this. All right, so actually, I need to go have dinner. So we're gonna finish listening to this, and then I'm gonna end the stream. Since 2013, what? That's crazy. Oh yeah, this video I'm watching right now. this video with the song is from 2011. Damn, it's been a long time. 2013 is when I started listening to Chill Step, I think. That was the... So here's a fun fact about me. I was never into music. I never listened to music until I was in 9th grade. That's when I started listening to music for the first time. Like, actually, like, actively listening to it. Obviously, I would still, like, listen if it's playing on the radio or something. But, like, actually going out of my way, so to speak, to look for music and put it on playing. It was only in 9th grade I started doing that. And I know I started with, like, techno and house and stuff. But I quickly switched over to Chill Step. That's what I meant. I had a blank there. I have a multimedia class this semester and it's been complicated. Learning Audition in Premiere from scratch and almost without the guidance of a teacher. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the problem with it. It's like if you're doing that, like the sort of multimedia, like software, like learning that online through like online classes, that's difficult. You don't have the same thing. I mean, I was taking a Udemy course, which is like an online course, but you don't actually have anyone there in real time. You just watch lessons and videos. Like, it's good to learn, like you can see how to do things, but it's just hard in the sense that you don't have anyone there in real time to help you or to answer your questions. Cupsy. Oh, hello, dude. Wait, I don't recognize your name. Let me just see. Where do I know you from? Tell me. I'm curious now. Cause I don't recognize your Copsy name. But I have like different like theories where you might be from different places with different usernames. There you go. That was really nice. 900 dogs. Hell yeah. I want to listen to that again. Elise Discord. My name is SX there. Okay, yeah. So I thought it could either be you or Remnant. So there you go. Hey, dude. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, but that instrumental is pretty much how I feel all the time in real life. Very relaxing. Exactly, yeah. That's why I really like the sort of like really relaxing songs and everything. I've always been very like into the chill, relaxing, soothing, slow kind of music. I find myself always going for those genres all the time. So like I switched over to Chill Step in 2012, 2013, and I listened to Chill Step for so many years that I might have listened to most of what was out there. Because again, it was the same thing that I was telling you earlier. Any Chill Step mix I would listen to, I would recognize every song. And that's when I started switching over to indie. And then from indie, I switched over to lo-fi, which is what I'm listening to now the most. Lo-fi and chill hop. But I still listen to a lot of indie. I've actually been listening to a lot of indie this week. And I really like indie. Because there's a lot of like this freedom, travel vibes. And it's just like really nice to listen to. I learned all my Adobe software through YouTube. Lol. I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years now, and I'm always learning something new. Yeah, it's YouTube is a great place to learn, for sure, for absolute sure. And honestly, that's the same with me. Like everything I know with Premiere, it's all through YouTube as well. Premiere and Photoshop and After Effects and I used to use Sony Vegas before I switched over to Premiere. That was all on YouTube, and it's a great place to learn. Like you can absolutely learn a lot of it through YouTube. But yeah, I guess it's really just the whole. I guess the part with having classes like in real time. I am curious to see how it's gonna be like to be surrounded by people who are doing the same thing as you and meet new people with the same interests. I'm really curious about it. I'm so looking forward to like meeting everyone in my class. And seeing like what the teacher will be like and what kind of things you can learn from them and see how different it is from like learning from YouTube. I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most. This will be very interesting. What's for dinner? Also, I love detective type music like this. Yeah, actually. Yeah. Because it's yeah, I already mentioned it. The type of music like detective-like music is very much like this. It's very nice. What's for dinner? I don't know. What is for dinner? It's probably soup. It's soup. Yeah, my mom was like, "Oh, well, when are you coming so I can like heat up the soup?" Yeah, it's soup. I'm gonna eat soup. And then I'm guessing it's we call it chorizo. I think you guys call it salami in English. Afterwards, it's really good. I love it. Lo-fi is awesome. It is, really is. I like rock most of the time, but sometimes I just listen to Nintendo games like Waluigi Pinball Song. Oh yeah, that's another thing I listen to a lot is VGM. I love listening to video game music. Soundtracks are so awesome. Like, cause a lot of, like, I think they're so underrated, honestly. Like a lot of people, sometimes I listen to video game music at work, like on my lunch break, and my coworkers will like notice and be like, "Why are you listening to that?" They ask, and I'm like, or they just kind of like make fun of it. And I'm like, why though? Like, this is music like any other, and it's so good. Like, you have such great composers out there, and Nintendo has really good music. I love listening to Sonic soundtracks, Xenoblade Chronicles. Xenoblade is really nice music. Final Fantasy has great music. Spire soundtrack. I know there's so many different games that have really good music. Breath of the Wild, Zelda's some of the greatest soundtracks I've ever listened to in my life. It's really nice. I would love to do classes. My son is high risk for COVID, so I stay at home with them. Oh yeah, that's the safest option. I think that's wise. Chorizo, I love it. Here in Mexico, it's easy to get fresh. It's so good. Oh my god, I love it. 80s music, yes, I love 80s music. So if you guys don't know, I love Ninja Sex Party, or I love Gang Grumps, and I love Ninja Sex Party, which is dance band, and it's very like 80s themed music, the type of music he plays, and I love listening to it. And so I've always had appreciation for 80s music, and after listening to Ninja Sex Party a lot, I found myself listening to a lot more 80s music now. And it's just so nice. Like, it's such a different tone from what you hear now most of the time. I really like it. I like some rock too. I've been into metal before, but mostly the melodic metal. See, this is why I say, like, I'm always into the chill things. But anything that's relaxing, really, like, just calm. I like it. Music from Guardians of the Galaxy. I've actually never listened to the... Well, I used to listen to the soundtrack of Guardians of the Galaxy a lot when I first watched the movies. I was super hooked to it. Like, there's these videos on YouTube. It's just like the VHS, the little cassette thing that Star-Lord listens to. And I listened to that a lot. It was pretty cool. Hey, I really like this. Oh, and there's an extended version is what it's playing now. Dude, Angela, thanks so much for sharing this because I'm really enjoying this song. Like, hooked on a feeling, yeah. Oh my god, that was completely unintended. Hell yeah. All right, I should end the stream now. I'm actually getting hungry, so I'm gonna eat. And then I might go watch some anime afterwards. I've been rewatching Log Horizon. Because Log Horizon Season 3 just came out, and I want to rewatch everything, Season 1 and 2, before I watch Season 3. So I've been watching that with a friend of mine. So I'm probably going to do that afterwards as well. I love game music too, especially the soundtracks of Smash Bros. Games. Yes! Oh my god, I listen to that so much. Dude, I love Super Smash Bros. And because, like, Super Smash has such cool remixes as well. And so... And there's, like, so many good songs, so many good hits from, like, the games that it features and stuff. Yeah, Megalovania is super cool. I love Megalovania. I also love the... fuck, I can't play it because copyright, but it's the... Death by Glamour. I love that song from... That is one of my favorite songs from Undertale. Anime. Hell yeah. I love anime. Goodbye, Nervely. Enjoy those detective vibes. I so will. And you too, if you're listening to it. I'm not sure if you're listening to it. Well, you are listening to it now, but if you listen to it afterwards, you enjoy them yourself. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. And for listening to my story on that crazy ass surgery episode. I'm glad to have finally shared it. It was nice to finally tell you guys about it. This was fun. Thanks for the stream. Elliot, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. It's so fun to just talk to the chat. It's just sitting here, relaxing and talking. It's pretty nice. And Jared Diener, this was fun. Glad you're doing better. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. And you guys have a good dinner when it's time for you guys to have dinner, because it's around 6 to 5 hours behind me where you guys are at. So you guys have a good one. Goodbye.